We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about chasing false due diligence. And before, right at the end of the show yesterday, I asked Jill to tell us a story about how this came about, how this episode came about. Can you please repeat it?
Yes. So we have a new member in Land Academy. First deal came in. They loved it, submitted it to me for deal funding. I looked at it. I didn't love it. Especially
love the asset, not the price.
Not the price. It's like, I wasn't in love with it. And don't be afraid to do this. I just sent an email out yesterday, by the way, to a seller they got our offer in the mail. Instead of calling, they decided to email me. And I said, all right. And she's like, hey, it's my grandma's property. We like the offer, da, da, da. And I had to write her back and said, look, I like it. I don't love it. So my original price is going to be the end price. So that's
the
where
old
we
grandmother's property story.
It is? No, and I believe it. I'm sure it's true. So
me too. It's hard to get a really great price out of your grandmother. You just don't want to do that.
I know. I'm not even sure the original price I love. So I'm waiting to. So what I wrote back was, I like it. I like it. I don't love it. The most I said the best I would do and the highest offer is my original offer. Let me know what you guys think, and then walk away. So you have to get to that point. So where we are. So back to the what you asked me about this person. So they're trying to make this deal happen, and they've submitted it a couple of times. And I keep saying, shucks, I said I think the offer was 30. And I said, you know what? I'd give them 5 kind of thing. That would the best I would do. And then they wrote back, they're like, but Jill, and then I said, I marked it canceled. I'm not going to happen because I'm 30 and 5 are very different. So then they came back and said, but we found these other comps and we feel really good about it. And I looked at the comps and I said, well, maybe 10. And then I kept reading. I said, I would consider 10,000. And they said, well, we got them down to 20,000. They won't go below that. I said, well, then the deal's done. As far as I'm concerned, done. They're either going to accept 10,000. Really, I'd like 5, or that's it. I'm not going to come up to their 20,000. And the thing is and what this episode's about is going to be more about how to not get into this predicament of trying to chase a deal and why it happens.
Yeah, and again, I have, like I said yesterday, I have like 10 questions for you because I have personal experience with this. When I started, I had issues with pricing, and not necessarily pricing a mailer, but just pricing and letting go of a deal. And I think there's a lot of reasons, and they're all. All the reasons that I couldn't let go of deals were all in my head. And I still find myself doing it on big, high-priced personal investments for us. And it's we'll talk about it. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Douglas, looks like who is new to the group, not yet a member, wrote, recently, my partner and I were contacted by a Land Academy lender.
What is that? I put this in here for a reason.
We don't have Land Academy lenders.
I couldn't agree more.
I'm very curious. I hope somebody said, who's Land Academy lender? That's really funny.
I'm going to find out later today.
Okay. Which is exciting since many of the properties we're looking at are out of range of our current capital. So how is deal funding normally conducted? So someone is trolling, trying to lend money.
And they're using our name.
Wow. And I would like to get to the bottom of this too.
By the way, there's about 10 responses.
If anyone's a Land Academy lender, it's me. And that's it.
I know.
And I don't troll you.
There are about 10 responses.
I would never troll. I'm here with an open checkbook. Let me know if you got something good. I'm not going to chase deals. So it's good. It does tie into this whole show.
We're going to parlay this into...
Jeez.
Douglas, I'm going to answer your questions.
Okay. So how is deal funding normally conducted? Is there usually a credit check? Oh, hell no. This is...
See the steam coming out of Jill's ears?
What the heck?
I put this in here on purpose.
All right, whoever you are, knock it off. And everybody listening, there is no Land Academy lender and you never need a credit check.
It's us.
Wow. The deal stands
So-
for, the deal is the credit
So
check.
hold
The
on a
deal
second.
is
Jillian,
this.
let's finish
Holy cow. All right.
before you get upset.
I'm sorry. How does the lender ensure they get paid back? Do you usually sign a contract? Is it normally 50-50 split of profits? Thanks. Okay.
Let me take this for a second.
Okay. Like I'll be over here calming
This
down.
is nothing more than
What?
we are a group of entrepreneurs. And there are people in our group, and probably not in our group, who have lots of money. I know there's people in our group with tons and tons of money. And so they're trying to find deals, and they're contacting people through Land Investors itself. The website is just, it's an open book. And so we created a product called deal funding a long time ago, years ago. And there's, like everything, an offshoot. There's people that are, taking that concept and the basic parts of the concept, which I'm going to answer in Douglas's question here in just 1 second, and doing it for themselves, which is fine. All I'm just saying is, if you're on the lender side of that, be good about it. Don't turn yourself into a
Snake.
hard money lender situation. And if you're on the Douglas side of this, and more importantly, here's the basic stuff that you need to know. No, it all centers around, and this is what I tell every single new member: your job in life for the next couple of years is to find great property. That's it. It's not to have a lot of money in your bank account. It's not to be great on the phone, although that really helps. It's not to be the best data person in the world, although that really helps. But none of that's really required to find great deals. You just got to get, like we talked about yesterday, get the mail out there. So if you find a great deal, sounds like a money person or a money partner. It's not a lender. Please don't use the word lending, because there's no lending that goes on in any of this.
Mm-mm.
Which just cracks me up, because whoever this is calling themselves Land Academy member doesn't get it at all. Right in the title, they don't get it.
Yeah.
What you're looking for is a partner like Jill and I, and I'm not touting our own stuff. There's a lot of other people out there that are partners. In fact, we bring partners in that are Land Academy members on huge
We do
deals.
deals together.
Right.
Yeah.
The components are this: you're going to sign an agreement that says, hey, I'm your money partner. You brought this great deal. We're going to split it. It might be 50-50. It might be 90-10.
Depending
And that's
on who's
based on
doing
who you
what.
are, how new you are. Yeah, based on who's doing what, how much money everybody puts in.
Right.
And there's deals are all over the place.
Right. Whatever makes sense to you.
Right.
But there's no points or percentage or credit checks.
And there's no credit check. This isn't lending. There's no sneaky stuff like that. You end up being a business partner with us. It's all in a 2-page agreement that we sign. What's the recourse is what you're really asking here. Here's the deal. After a certain amount of time, if you, the manager of the transaction, fail to sell the property that we paid for 100%, we're going to take it over and do the deal.
Right.
And that happens.
Right.
It doesn't happen often, but it happens.
And it's really clear. Everybody knows what they're doing. It's like you would say the same thing too. And I've had this happen actually with advanced group, one person in particular, a former advanced group member who said, yeah, I bought it wrong. I'm sorry, Jill. You should take it back. It's been a year. I didn't sell it. It wasn't even a year, but it was way past whatever the agreed thing was. And I would too. If I felt really strongly about it and I dropped the ball, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I goofed. I'm sorry. And so
this whole thing, Land Academy, from the minute we started it, is just a collection of unintended consequences. And Jill and I know that. But Jill and I draw, and whatever, people do whatever they're going to do. Where we draw the line is where there's bad products and bad people. So
that's right.
There's a priced product out there, a pricing product that I don't believe in at all. That the people who brought it to us were former Land Academy members, and they're not anymore, not because we did anything. They're just not into it. That I think is really teaching people the wrong way to do everything. So, just beware. All I'm saying is, Douglas and everybody else, be very, very aware of, just be aware.
There's a lot of copycats
just
out
like
there
everything.
too.
There's a lot of great places to learn about buying and selling real estate and land and how to send mail. I believe this is the best place, but it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You decide. We're not the most expensive. We're not the cheapest, but we are the original one. Mm-hmm. And probably the oldest, which says something. It's good.
Careful. Don't throw that word around like that.
And it's the same thing with lenders and not lenders, with partners.
Age. But isn't that funny though? It's, gosh, I was watching something that's just tying to what you just said though. I have a real hard time when I'm someone that's under 30 and they are walking around like a pro. I'm sorry, especially under 25. I kind of have a hard time. I don't know if everybody else does. I'd love to hear your comments.
I think those things work themselves out.
Let us know. I'm curious what you think about that. I mean, I try to, depends on what the topic is. Let's just say.
So
if it's, something that calls for being of that age, say you're a DJ, okay? Under 25 years old, totally going to listen to you. Okay.
That's actually required. I
Thank you. You don't want it. You don't want it. A 75-year-old DJ. Could you imagine?
No, can you imagine me as a DJ?
Yeah. This is good. Let's see.
Steve's playing tonight.
Yes. We're gonna go.
We're gonna listen to all that original Rush and Yes, and maybe he'll play.
He's bringing out his old vinyl.
Maybe he'll play a couple of tracks off of Van Halen 1.
Could you imagine? This is good. Like, it won't, like, okay, what's mine? Like, what should I not be giving advice on? Like, I know there's things that you're not going to listen to me about because I am not the pro and I can't think of them right now, but it's funny.
It's, just be careful where you learn from and choose. I always come back to the academic setting that you had when you're in high school and college. I still have, there's probably 5 professors that I remember in college. The rest I could care less about. I don't even remember the names or let alone one time sitting in their class. But there's 5 that made a huge impression on me, and there's reasons for that. And so if you really sit down and say which 5% professors that you liked in college or high school, if they resembled Jill and I in any way, you're probably in the right place. If not,
that's nice. That's a good way to think.
Then this isn't for you. Because eventually you're just going to be like, I don't like this guy. I don't believe in it. Or whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
There's a very consistent personality type that joins this group, and the ones that we know about anyway.
They're like us.
Yeah,
you're very giving.
They're analytical. They're open-minded.
You like to share.
They don't call themselves something like a Land Academy lender.
No.
I know that.
No, you help. You know what? You have a core belief in helping other people because in the end, it's going to pay off. You have a core belief that you're really helping sellers and helping buyers.
That's right.
Because it comes across that way, right. And you are
long view,
and you're not slimy, and they know it, and that's it. And it ties into whether I'm buying a property or selling a property. I want to make sure it's a good fit. If you don't want to sell to me, I'm not going to talk you into it. If you don't want to buy from me, I'm not going to talk you into it. That's it. And then everybody's happy.
I'll leave it on this. Jerry Seinfeld has this show called Talking in Cars with Comedians or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you, Jill. And the show is funny as hell if you haven't seen it. And so, but on a recent episode, he ended it like this. And he sat down on a chair with a white background and said, look, there's about 900 offshoots to this show now. And he said, I think it's funny. I get it. You want to drive around with people and make jokes and stuff. And he said, and then he started listing them. And he said, just do me a favor, will you? I don't care if you copy my stuff. Just be funny and provide a good show. Mm-hmm. Provide a good product. Yeah. And then
be original.
He laughed about it. Yeah.
I say be original.
So there's all kinds of offshoots of what we do here. The majority of them are slimy.
I would argue.
That's the truth of it. But there are a few good ones.
Not that we're trying to go there, but since you opened that door.
Yeah, I did. Well, Douglas did.
Ties into
and thank you, Douglas.
What I said, was it yesterday? I don't know what day it was. One day this week, I said something about, I'm really open and I want to be a sponge. There's going to be new, better ways and other ways in my own business that someone's going to think about. And I'm all for it. I want to learn. So if someone has a little bit of better way of, it might even be just, tracking our properties or posting properties or something like that.
Or pricing.
Or even pricing. There's going to be somebody that comes up with something good. And you know what? I'm not going to kick it to the curb. I'm totally open to it. But I need you to be real. I need you to be tested. And I need some numbers. I need to know what works. And I really will pay attention to you. I'm happy to listen because you might teach me something. I think it's great.
Well said, Joe.
Thank you.
Today's topic, chasing false due diligence. This is the meat of the show.
You know what my notes are? I want to hear my notes because they're funny.
Well, let me set this up.
Okay.
When you send a bunch of mail out, I'll use the numbers that I used either earlier on the show or yesterday. You send 1,000 pieces of mail out, you maybe get 20 responses that aren't where they're not angry. You whittle those down, and now you've got, let's say, 10. And those numbers are varied. Then Jill's going to look at all 10 of them straight up, and she's going to say, I love these 3. But the majority of them, the other 7, she's going to say something like, I love this asset, but I don't like the price. Or there's just no way I'm going to buy this asset at any price. Or however it manifests itself. It's the middle properties, and I'm speaking from personal experience, where it's like, it's $20,000. It really needs to be 10. And then the wheels start turning in my head, and I start to justify the $20,000, and you can get in a lot of trouble, especially if you're buying a house. So here's what the sentence that I say and every single time works for me, where I snap out of it. Is there going to be another real estate deal next week? There's always, in our world, always another real estate deal next week. Sometimes, usually tomorrow. And that's what stops me from trying to see something in that $10,000 property that gets me to 20. Love to hear your notes. Here's Jill's notes. I can see them. It says, stop it.
It does.
That's Jill's whole comment for this thing.
Chasing false due diligence. Stop it. That's it. And we're done. No, and then
Sometimes
I put...
we reverse roles.
It's so
Sometimes you're the hard ass.
It's true. The second thing I wrote was chasing false due diligence is you're missing red flags like dating. Again, I have something funny. I wrote SNL. So I watched the replay of a week or so ago of the Saturday Night Live. And there was a skit on there where this guy goes to the door. This is what false due diligence is in dating. And I'm trying to hope you see my analogy here in the comparison. So this guy goes to the door. She opens the door. She's like, Jesus, Brad, why are you here? We broke up. He's like, I'm a new man. I'm a changed man. And he's saying, I stopped drinking. She's like, oh, thank God, really? And then she goes, yeah, and don't worry. And the Coke's gone too. She's like, you were doing Coke? And then he goes into all this stuff. And also I got rid of those 3 other marriages. Well, you were married? And he's like, all these things are coming up. And she's like, so she's starting to see it. And then he gets down on one knee.
Oh God.
And she's like, oh, all of a sudden she starts to erase all the bad things, right? And the reason he's getting down on one knee is to adjust his ankle bracelet. It's like this, and it goes on, and it's the funniest thing. And at the very end of the skit, she's like, oh, he loves me. As he's running from the police. Next thing you see red and blue flashing lights at some point. And he's throwing her all this paraphernalia, saying, hide this for me. And she's holding it all, saying, oh, he said he loved me. I'm like, okay, this is like chasing false due diligence. It's like that. It's like you're missing it. You're missing the red flags, and you need to stop it. And if you really are in a conundrum, here's my tip on all this. If you really are on the fence, you're like, okay, Jill said this. I got these red flags. I still think there might be some value there. Okay, promise.
There's not.
Well, hold on a moment. Promise me you will do this. Put it aside and wait a couple days, because I'm willing to bet if you do that, I need you to open 5, 10, a few more envelopes and see what else is out there. Go to brunch with somebody else. And
not the ankle bracelet
not
guy.
the ankle bracelet guy. And I promise you, if you put it aside for a few days and you're going to go, okay, now I see it. Joe was right. I missed the red flags. I now have 3 more properties that are way better. And it's usually something like price. It's something like the person's trying to sell you on something. It may even be, it's a very involved title mess. I've seen this. People think that I can undo this. Nobody can undo it. I am the one guy that can undo this. It's like the people that drive for dollars and they see the boarded up house that's been boarded up for 3 years because you can tell the weeds in the grass are that high. And they're like, you know what? I'm sure I'm the only one. I'm the smartest one. I'm sure that there not many people saw this asset. I'm going to undo this. No, there's a reason why it's been boarded up for 3 years and the grass is that high. There's something bigger going on.
You know, that air of superiority about, hey, get it and no one else does. Can you think of a time when that's appropriate? Like where it's like, wow, you know what? I really do know more than anybody about this.
No. Can you?
There's a possibility that, and I don't mean just me and no one else, this is a definition of narcissism, by the way, where he's falsely like, you think you're a king or something. There's a possibility that I'm pretty good at picking places to send mail or new product types to send mail that are data based. Because when I explain why I sent mail to some place to very, very seasoned and intelligent people in our group, they look at me like, wow, why didn't I think of that? Okay. So I'm getting some feedback on that. But everything else, like how I handle administrative stuff or growth or anything, no, I just think I'm in the sea of people.
Okay, I do agree with you there. I do believe that every single person, everyone has some little talent that you do better than everybody else.
I can guarantee you it's not this renovating a house. I can guarantee you that your choice in shark and curtain isn't going to be any, you might think that.
But there might be, I really think that too. Everybody has some little hidden talent. It might be really small. But when you thought of like taking that having that arrogance, like, oh, I'm the best. You know what it makes me think of? My little brother and I in parenting. My brother came to me when he had like a 6-month-old barely. He was giving me parenting advice. I'm like, you're giving me parenting advice right now?
If you think you're great.
I'm like, let's talk to me when that 6-month-old and she's staring at you at 16 with your car keys in your hand. Then we'll talk. That's what I said. Until then, don't give me parenting advice. And I won't do that to you either, by the way. I used to say this. That's when I really learned to eat my words, man. And I really try to be careful of that. I'm not going to pretend I'm the pro on everything.
You think you're great. I give you between 2 weeks and 2 months to be completely done.
With parenting?
Everything.
Oh.
If you're sitting around saying, God, I'm so great. I get this.
Did you imagine?
I get this. People don't. People suck.
No.
And I'm great. Look at this. Look at me. No, you're done.
Yeah. So stop chasing it. Use your team. If you're not sure and you're new, that's why we have the back end of our online community, by the way. That is the whole reason. I got 2 places for you right now for everyone. Landinvestors.com. If you're a member, there's a back end that's hidden that the planet can't see. Use it. And if you think, God, am I missing a red flag here? I need another pair of eyes like today. Put it there. And the other thing is, that's where our Thursday calls are. You can run it by us. That's why we do it. I want to save you and help you. And I don't want to do it every week. This should always be learning. You know what I mean? You need to be growing with me. And you should be able to go, oh, got it. I'll never do that again.
There's a second part to this. We've gone way over in time, but I will bring it up briefly. There are a material number of people. Again, I used to fall into this group, and sometimes I still do on bigger deals, where there's just never enough due diligence. So when you're chasing this false due diligence, like, and it usually for me comes up with property usage. And so there's a million things that can happen with a piece of dirt, usually an urban piece of dirt on a paved road or a state highway, that make you ask yourself this question: can I really use it the way it's intended? Yeah, I know it's zoned for hotel, but look at this drop down here, or look at the slope, or look at how many trees are on it. What am I missing? What am I missing? And so you don't want to chase that false due diligence to the point where you never do a deal.
Right.
And the way that we make that up, and we talked about this before the show, is it was justified by price. So we did a commercial real estate deal last year where we actually bought it for less than 10% of what their asking price was.
Mhm.
And we both looked at each other and said, yeah, there's these unknowns. And yeah, we will get an engineer out there, but I think we're just going to write the check right now anyway, because it's so cheap that we can get out of it and still make double.
Totally.
That is the silver bullet in land investing.
It's true.
That's where due diligence no longer matters. Where you've done all the obvious stuff with the 5 A's, it all clears that. And now it just becomes price, and it needs to be so cheap that especially in a partnership where both people are saying, we got to do this deal.
Right.
Is there any question that we shouldn't be doing this deal at this price? Those are the kinds of deals you want to do, especially right in the beginning of your career, and not chase due diligence. If you're chasing due diligence, well, can I use it this way? Is it going to be okay? Is that floodplain too short? Are the setbacks and on and on?
I'm going to get a perk just in case.
You know what you're really telling to yourself? You know what you're really saying in the back of your head? It's too expensive. I'm trying to justify the price.
You're fine. You're creating problems, and then you need to watch that too.
Red flags.
Need to send out a few thousand offers to property owners like us? Check out offers2owners.com. So it's offers2owners.com. No setup fees, free mail merge, exceptional service, and now including just released for everyone, concierge data and pricing. It's awesome. Give Offers to Owners a call today. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you find our content valuable, and we do appreciate your support. Please check out our YouTube channel, and while you're there, hit the subscribe button.
Your comments and suggestions help us to create the type of content you're here for. Hitting the like button on your favorite episodes helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.
We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.